Let me see if the room is at the end of the hall or also. You can start, but I'll see.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. After having a very heavy discussion series, class series, I said it is better to have something lighter this time, and also somehow related to our social life. The title of the discussion here, relationship with other human beings. Any human being, believing, non-believing, Muslim, non-Muslim, whatever. So how are we going to have, and how, especially the Quran, of course, when we understand the Quranic approach, how the fundamentals are established in the Quran, we will find that the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam will follow these principles. So we can find examples, many examples in his life following the principles. But of course, in this class, we cannot go in the details of the life of the Prophet and giving many, many examples. And also in the life of the Prophet, alayhi salatu wasalam, we know that his practice of the rulings, jurisprudential rulings, went through a journey. It wasn't the same from the beginning to the end. Now, we know at the same time that when there is no ruling established in the Quran, and the Prophet used to follow the tradition, the custom of the people there. That is very essential. Most of the time, we find narrations from historians.
You can use the lounge in my office, and your computer we can connect to the flat screen.
But do you think we may
Yeah,
have?
you'll fit it.
Shall we move there? Okay, thank you.
I'll walk with you.
Okay, we'll come to your office or?
Yeah, my office at the end.
Okay. Okay, let's go. Shall I pull this one out? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين آمين. Now, just before the prayer, we summarized that we are going to study a subject which is social context, and only through the Quran. The reason why only through the Quran, not through the Hadith, first, it is huge. And second, it needs a really expertise to analyze the Hadith. If you are not expertise, we cannot analyze it. We cannot really benefit from it. Yeah. Because most of the people don't notice that when they read the Hadith narrations from the Prophet ﷺ, if they are not expert on how to read the Hadith, they may be misled. Mostly they are misled because the practical lives of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ went through 23 years. During these 23 years, there was especially first 13 years of his life, he didn't have almost any revelation coming from the, yep, you can see two there. Come here, come. Why not? Why not? What am I going to do here? Sorry? No, it is not in the video. Don't worry about it. So, coming, when there was no revelation about organizing the conduct of behavior, or how to behave towards people, towards other people, and there were almost no rulings. 13 years, almost no rulings prescribed to the believers in general. So when there was no ruling from the Quran, Allah, the Prophet mostly followed the custom of the people, of the society, wherever he is. That's why most people don't understand. For example, some rules that the Prophet applied during his life were very, very harsh. They were not necessarily that the Quranic rules, they were the practice of the pagan people of that society. So as the rulings was started revealing to the Prophet Muhammad والسلام, he adjusted his life according to the Quranic or revelation, according to God's guidance. So, and also in the course of time, this practice gradually developed and came to maturity at the very end of his life, until the very end of his life. And also, he treated the other tribes according to their customs, if it was appropriate for them. So sometimes we read the hadith narrated in Al-Bukhari, we think that, oh, it is really authentic. Yeah, it is authentic, but do you know when this event took place? No. If you don't know when this event took place, you cannot know really it was regulated later on by Quranic revelation. So if someone is not expert on the hadith narrations, which are not always the hadith narrations that the rulings are taken from. Sometimes historians narrate something and then try to understand the Quranic verses within the context of the occasion of the revelation, mostly narrated by historians. And the historians were not like hadith narrators. Historians did not pay really serious attention to the authenticity of the narration. They make history and, tailor the story according to the conditions and make a nice story for the readers. So when we study any practical matter, either one has to be really an expert on hadith narrations and separate the hadith narrations from historians' narrations and make it applicable to the Quranic revelation, make the synchronize between the revelation and the Prophet, the life of the Prophet in his life, how it changed, the practice changed. If someone is not expert like me, I don't know about Imam Shiar, but I'm not an expert. So what I do, I study the Quranic principles which are universal, And Quranic principles mostly to be understood in terms of general principles, universal principles, not the principles which are concerning a particular event only. Including that particular event, it comes up to me, and I have to utilize these general universal principles to my conditions. Yes, it was correct that it was related to the conditions of the time when the revelation was revealed, but I'm not living in that condition. I have to take it into my practical conditions. It needs, of course, again, a careful study. But as far as you don't make a ruling out of something, we have to understand this. If you don't make a ruling out of the principle, saying that practically you have to do this, this is the rule for inheritance, this you have to, for the marriage problems or relationship with other people and the rules of the battlefield, we don't make this. We make only general principles for my behavior, a kind of, if you like, etiquette. So generally what I have to do, let's see the first verse that we are going to, inshallah, study today. You will find it now in, inshallah, but it is not the first verse. It is the second verse, so it didn't come up exactly, but English translation came up. The original verse is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I will read it, or you can have one.
Thank you.
So, وَلَا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةٌ وِزْرَ أُخْرَى, which means, I think you can read one of you in English. Did you get it? Yeah, you
Okay.
read it. It's all right. Yeah. Just to
And-
turn the direction, that's enough.
And if
The
they
only way that we get closer. It is the conference mic. So just turn the direction, it's all right. Yeah.
incline to peace
No. With the second verse.
and no bearers of burden will bear the burden of another.
How many times it has been repeated in the Quran exactly in the same form? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, exactly with the same wording, which is the very important universal principle. What do we understand from it? No bearer of burdens will bear the burden of another. For example, you know somebody and he really treated you harshly. He really treated you harshly. And this man, let's say, left you, his brother is there. What would you do with his brother? And if you really he harmed you, what are you going to do with his brother? Let's say this man is your enemy. He tried to kill you. What do you do with his brother?
Nothing. Treat him as normal.
No. Why? But the other person did something. Why do you blame that one? How about a person commits a crime and his tribe, his group of people, let's say he is from a certain country, Bangladesh, and you know, they try to declare a war to you. Let's say you are a group of people, or you are another, let's say Muslim state, believer state. Really, there's no such thing, but let's say, and what do you do with a Bengali people when you meet him? A Bengali man from Bangladesh.
Treat him like a new person, like just treat
But
him
nothing to
like-
do with the enmity. But the state of Bangladesh declared war against you. What do you do? And this person is a citizen of Bangladesh, and he pays tax. He supports his state. He's a loyal citizen of Bangladesh. Still, what would you do? You are supporting my enemy. Huh? Do you say that?
Suspicious.
No. because this person is not physically attacking you. You cannot blame him because of the government's declaration of or waging a war against you. That's why the principle is non-combatants. Whatever they belong to, wherever they belong to, doesn't matter. No combatants should be blamed because of their rulings, administration, state, whatever, because of their state declared a war or did something wrong to you.
Okay.
Everything is
Yeah,
fine.
I
Thank
think-
you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Alaikum salam. So, this is the widest, most general, and most important principle. We can even go further.
I think in the case of, say, like a
Family.
then I think there would need to be a conversation first, because if, let's say, the two brothers, right, and one did something like terrible towards you, right, then I think you would have to talk and say, and that guy, he died or whatever. You would typically still need to have a conversation, I think, with his remaining brother, even though he's not the one who did anything, because he knows all about what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so practically,
practically, what are you going to do with your discussion with him? Well, what are you going to, for example, he may support his brother saying that, but ideally support, not physically.
right,
Yeah. Let's say this person A is attacking you,
Mhm.
and this man has a brother,
Right.
person B. Yeah. And because it is his brother, he will
he supports
he
it. He
don't
supports it.
not support his, because my brother was right, for example, he says, but he didn't attack you with his brother. No. Even we will go. You cannot blame, because the rule is very, very general. No bearer of burdens will bear the burden of another at all. Even I can say something. Look, you have a friend, he had a bad character in one area of his behavior. But let's say in other area, he has some the brother or sister, he has some sensitivity when it comes to one point. Right? For example, let's say he is very stingy. Right? But when it comes to other behaviors, he's all right. You are happy with it. What are you going to do with this brother when he is acting on the good side of his character? But he has a very bad character as far as, let's say, generosity is concerned. He has nothing to do with generosity. He's very stingy. What do you do? What do you do with it?
You're happy with the good, and you
Yeah.
can be, maybe
No,
disappointed with
you-
God.
Yeah, it is. It is. You should say, okay, as far as the person's stinginess is concerned, I don't agree with him. But, for example, in his other behavior is okay. Yeah. Look, you cannot blame one character because of another character's burden. It means bad character. We have to be very careful. Even further. There is another example. There are many verses like this that people don't really take it seriously. Study it seriously. There is a Christian man or Jew or Buddhist. Okay, when it is Sunday, he or she goes to church. And when it comes to belief in God, he says Jesus Christ is God's son of God. Yeah, he is the son of God. He says, okay. How about when he has nothing in your relationship, he has nothing to do with these ideas. He is selling bananas in the street. But you know that he's a very strong supporter of Trinity. What are you going to do? Are you going to buy the banana from him? What? He's a Christian. He assigns partner to God. He says one man, one creature, one human being was God's son. Ascribes son to God. What does it mean? It is against Tawheed. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Check if there are any Muslims selling bananas.
Sorry?
Check if there are any Muslims selling bananas.
Why? What is the point in checking other Muslims selling banana? In selling, buying and selling transaction, my belief in Trinity is one behavior. Selling banana, buying and selling banana has nothing to do with Trinity.
Well, you know what it is? Okay, sure in this instance, but suppose, let's take it to another level. There's someone who they buy and they sell bananas, right?
Yeah.
But the money that I would spend on the banana, like they support a cause that I very much disagree with, and they would take the money that I spend on the banana and spend it on the cause to harm people.
Okay.
I would have
You
to
have
think
your
about this.
plumbing problem in your house.
Mhm.
Okay. You asked on the yellow pages.
I'm gonna hear your answer and then leave. Because
Okay. You asked on the yellow page, a man came, I can do that.
Mhm.
And how much will you charge? $50. But what a good money. $50 is okay for a plumber. And he did the job. He started being friendly with you and said that, you know, today is the evening. I am a free evening. I'm going to go to casino and gamble. And the money I am going to make out of you, I'm going to gamble with it.
Yeah.
What are they going to do?
I mean,
He's
I have to
doing
pay
the
him for
plumbing.
the job that
Sorry?
he did. Well, he started a job. I hired him. I have to pay him.
No. Now, we have to have the principle. Look, doing the plumbing should not be blamed. No, just other way around. Gambling action is a bad character, bad action you don't agree with. But how about doing the plumbing? Do we have any right to blame the person who is doing the plumbing because of his another character gambles?
Well, in a sense, the gambling it's like his personal problem that messes with his money. Like it's not a problem that is messing with somebody else's life.
No. You are responsible for what?
I'm responsible for my awareness and my consciousness and my
About?
actions about anything.
About This is the general statement. In this particular example, what is your example? What is your example? Anybody? What? Think about, we are not used to this. This is a gambler, and you had an business, and you made the transaction about gambling. No, you don't agree. About plumbing, can you make plumbing? Do you think, for example, you go to a shop which has lots of Hebrew writings on the wall, and they are selling something, right? Is that Hebrew writings? They are most likely Jews, and they are Jews. Put their kippah on, or their whatever they call it, these ones, and on you. That's obviously Jew, but it says it's selling a book, for example. Is that the book is $20? Would you buy it? Yeah? No? But the book is then, that is what the book you wanted to buy.
Maybe they support Israel.
Sorry?
If I just know I'm buying a book from
Yeah.
this person,
Yeah.
then fine, I just buy the book.
Yeah.
But if it's
So look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. One behavior should not be accused of for the burden of another behavior.
Unless they tell you these things connect. So
Wow.
if
How
they-
connect?
No,
How-
if the person tells me, if they make it very clear, if you buy this book, if you give me $20,
Yeah.
I'm going to pay somebody. I'm going to send this money so that I can kill somebody.
So
Then
okay.
if they don't tell
Look.
me that,
Can you operate on the responsibility of the person doing something else? For example,
No.
so you are responsible for your transaction. Yes? The prophetic example and the Quran definitely emphatically states that you should never break your treaty, your contract with anybody. Can a Muslim have a contract with a non-Muslim?
yes.
Yeah. Even, for example, a Muslim can get married with a Christian, with a Jew, with anybody who claims to have a sacred book. It means anything sacred about his authority, above himself. You can get married with him. You can have any. The Prophet signed many treaties with Jews, with pagans. Even they opposed that when the Prophet wrote, this treaty is between somebody, Suhail, somebody, and Muhammad Rasulullah. The man said, no, I don't accept you are Rasulullah. Otherwise, why should I have war with you? And he said, okay, delete, because he doesn't agree. So Muhammad ibn Abdullah. So they signed the contract as a man, without being why? The contract is about between you and me, not that the contract is not that I am going to worship your God. I am not responsible for his worshiping the God. We have to understand all this. So this verse is the foundation of social relationship with anybody, with any group of people, and even with a person. For example, the person was very nasty to you this morning, right? You said, good morning. You said, what do you want? Yeah, who are you, man? Why do you disturb me? Oh, it's a very nasty man. In the evening, the same person, you came in, he said, how are you? No? This morning, he was very nasty, insulting, let's say. He insulted you this morning. In the evening, he was a nice relationship. What would you do? Would you say that, look, you hurt my heart this morning, I cannot forgive you? Would you say that? Nobody is burdened. Nobody will be burdened because of the burden of another. No personality will be burdened because of another personality, another character of the same person. That is what God says to us in the Quran. Be careful. We have to be very relaxed. So God says in the Quran, I will treat you with the best of your action. So the wrong actions will be neglected, ignored. The best one. So this man comes in the evening to you with his best action. If you reject it, you are rejecting the best action. Good action. You have no right to do that. Yeah. For example, another example, more personal, practical matters I'm bringing in now. This morning, I wanted to pray, but I had a heavy sleep. I couldn't wake up.
Yes.
You were disappointed with yourself when you woke up at 10 o'clock a.m. After sunrise, and you didn't pray. You are not happy with yourself. And are you going to treat yourself as a bad person in that day?
Sometimes.
Zuhur time is wrong. Sometimes, no, not sometimes. You have to, if you realize that now, I realize that it was a mistake, again, a failure from my side. I'm sorry, I made a mistake, okay? That is called repentance, that's called asking for forgiveness, whatever. Now, it is Dhuhr time, noon time. What are you going to do? Will you pray? Or you say that you are a bad guy. You did something wrong to your God. How are you going to address your God now? What would you do? What would you do? Sorry?
I would pray.
You will pray, and with your prayer, noontime, you will be happy with yourself. No blame because of the morning time of your own self. Yeah, these are very important principles driven from the same verse. It's a very universal verse. Yeah. So if someone says, let's say, I have a very bad looking on my right eye, very bad looking. Everybody looks like, I don't want to look at that. I don't want to say that. But I have a normal left eye. Would you say that I am an ugly person?
No.
No. This eye, red eye, example, right eye, looks ugly. I don't like it. Yeah. Allah didn't say that you have to like everything. When you don't like something, don't like it in my name. I created it ugly. So you say, oh God, you created it ugly. I'm going to run away from it. For example, you are offered wine. It's created by God. You say, okay, take it in the name of God. You say, no. In the name of God, I'm rejecting it. I said, okay, what would you like then? You say, water? Okay. Water comes, you say, take. In the name of God, I am accepting it. In the name of God, I am rejecting it. In the name of God, I am accepting it. Do you understand the distinction? Don't mix up. Don't extend anything beyond its responsibility field. We have to be very careful. Let's say you are married and you had a problem with your spouse. In the morning, he was tired, he didn't want to go, he didn't want to go to work, and he just snapped the door and left in the morning. He wasn't. He was unhappy with his. Oh, take a chair from me. Yeah, with his unhappy with his conditions at that time. If you say that I didn't like, if you don't like it, I don't like it. You know, I don't like this kind of behavior. I don't have to shout. Come closer, let me hear. Why are you running away? Yeah. So, okay. So, you have this bad behavior. And he went there, woke up, and everything was right. In the evening, he came and rang the bell. Oh, you opened the door. He said, Assalamu alaikum. He wasn't nasty anymore. If you say, this morning you left me in a horrible feeling, like that. And this man is a nice behavior now, normal, nice behavior, acceptable behavior. Why do you accuse of this behavior because of the morning behavior? Do you understand? No expansion.
Can I ask a question?
Did you get it? Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Is it okay to say, let's say someone slammed the door in the morning.
Sorry?
Someone
Yeah.
slammed the door in the morning,
Understood.
Monday morning. Monday night, they come back, they're nice. You say,
Yeah.
okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
Tuesday morning comes, they slam the door again.
Yeah.
Tuesday evening, you're like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
Wednesday morning, they come and slam the door
Yeah,
again.
okay. Repeat it.
Okay.
Right.
Can I just say, you know what? I am just going to go this way. You can go that way. I would just prefer to not interact with you
No,
anymore.
just a minute. We are comparing morning attitude with evening attitude. One of them is nasty,
Uh-huh.
the other one is good.
Yes.
You cannot accuse the good attitude because of his morning attitude. The two things don't mix up. If you don't like a character of a person,
Okay.
and I cannot bear this person,
Okay.
then I don't have to be married with him. I don't have to be a friend with him without accusing and rejecting the good character that time because of a bad character happened before or sometimes earlier. You cannot accuse this good character and reject him. We will study that. It's a very, very important principles these are.
But I would think that practically speaking, it'd be like, oh, you see them in the evening, they're in a good mood. I'm so glad you're in a good mood,
Yes?
you know, and I hope you're in a good mood tomorrow morning, you know.
Yeah. So
and
you can
maybe
discuss, but don't
discuss the
confuse.
slam.
You
discuss
can
the slamming door
advise,
thing.
you can discuss, you can say that, I would be much happier if you were behaving like this as you are behaving now in the mornings as well. I will be happier. You can talk this, but
Yeah.
again, I couldn't express myself. In the evening, this man came with an, let's say, smiling face,
Yeah.
right? You cannot accuse this man at that moment because of his nasty behavior in the morning.
Yeah, you should always accept the good,
Ah,
right?
get the principle.
Okay.
Get the principle. You cannot accuse this nice behavior because of his bad behavior in another time. Don't combine them together.
Right.
That's it.
So we
So
can-
you have to speak to them nicely. You have to behave towards them nicely because we have no right to extend a burden to another time of the burden of the another time's burden, or how do you say? You cannot accuse the person because he did sometimes bad to you.
Mhm.
So very, very sensitive things that you can solve all your behavioral problems or your interaction with other people, social relationship, if you really apply this rule in your life, you will have no problem in your life. So because we extend, we revenge, we grow revenge feelings in us. That is why we are in trouble, if you like, we are in trouble in our relationship. For example, you did something to me yesterday like this. So I'm not going to speak to you again. What does it mean? Even he changes his behavior towards me, I will still carry on my reaction to his bad behavior yesterday.
Yeah.
That is wrong. Quran says, no, you cannot extend it. If he starts behaving towards me nicely right now, immediately I have to respond back towards the nice behavior as or with my nice reaction to it.
Yes.
Now, you don't confuse with the morning behavior, yesterday's behavior. So we are not allowed to carry any hatred, any negativity towards anybody unless they physically, timely harm us physically. Do you understand? For example, he was very enemy to me yesterday. Or let's say two people are fighting. This morning we woke up and people are not coming to the battlefield and fight with you. What would you do? But they were really harsh, trying to kill you yesterday. What would you do? Yeah. So as long as there is a rule here, but it goes into other verses. If they plan to attack you, yeah, and they are still intending to plan to attack you, preparing for war, for example, you know that they are still having enmity towards you, they didn't change.
Yeah.
You can react.
Right.
Now, because you know that at the moment he is not attacking you, but he is preparing to attack you, preparing himself or his army to attack you. What would you do? Then you can react them because they have not changed.
Right.
Even in a very hot battlefield conditions, they stop and leave the typical sword, arms or weapon down. What would you do? Will you carry on? Because they are not really preparing themselves to attack you. It means they are not growing the enmity towards you physically. Although they not physically attack you, but they are preparing to attack you. So physically attacking must be responded back physically. Verbal attacking must be responded back verbally. Ideological attacking must be responded back ideologically. That we will read very interesting verses, although unfortunately, this social content or context verses are not seriously studied only from the negative sense. It means enmity, growing enmity. sowing the sense of enmity in the Muslims, fearing that if we really take notice of the positive teachings of the Quran, which is like this, they may think that the Muslims will lose their sensitivity or being on alert with the against their enemy. They will become pacifists. That is why they want to feed, foster the feeling of enmity against the non-believers or whatever, the non-Muslims, so that they will be ready to fight. That is very dangerous because it grows only the negative feelings, but because the positive feelings are not fed. When we are going to be reacting, when we are going to stop reaction and have a normal human relationship, showing that we are believers in God, we are not here in this world to revenge. Because another example I can give you. If a person comes and breaks into your house, right, and steals something from your house, what are you going to do? Are you going to break into his house and steal his property as well?
If you want.
Sorry?
I mean, you can.
You can?
Yeah.
No.
No?
It is impossible. It is completely prohibited. So, because stealing is a bad action, and a non-Muslim or a bad person, maybe Muslim as well, but mostly non-Muslim, a bad person can do bad action if, can you imagine, if a believer also does the bad action, what is the difference? Yeah. So how do you think Islam spread during the first 30 years, 29 years, so fast everywhere? Because people were doing something unjust. Muslims were doing all just, acting just. So they kept wondering that why these people are not after property, not really imposing their power, because they themselves wanted to impose their power. They watched out for the life of the Prophet's life. He wasn't really trying to establish a power. He wasn't really trying to be a king. He was one of the poorest men of the society. When he sat like this, everybody was equally sitting. He didn't have a special place to sit. No one made the distinction. If foreigner comes, those people who are not familiar with the society, comes from the other tribes, came to Mecca or Medina, what happened? They said, who is your leader?
Excuse my voice is ever. What Dr. Nurma is saying is the truth of my life. I heard the first brother of his from Cape Verde, Mahmoud Ibrahim, came to my younger brother and I, and he told us this exact scenario when the man came looking for the prophet, and he said, which one of you is Muhammad? When he said this, I don't know if we've all had this experience, but I saw it. I was there. I was kind of like projected there. I did not see the prophet's face, but I was there. And I said, and my brothers, this is where we belong, because if he was who he was and he had this loyalty, he had this following, and you could not tell who he was, it means that he did not distinguish himself. He was not full of himself. He didn't need a special chair. He didn't need to be called so-and-so. And this is what led my family, as we say, to reclaim our Islam, our humanity. And from that, 5 brothers, 15 grandchildren, and my parents, 2 years before they passed, after seeing their sons and their grandchildren, accepted Islam based solely upon what he just said. And that is the truth.
So thank you. So they couldn't they couldn't see any distinguishing status in the society in the life of Muhammad, although he became that time towards the end of his life almost king of the Arabian Peninsula. He was the same poor guy. Yeah, equally distributed. For example, if the society's financial situation upgraded equally, not more, he upgraded his life, took his share as well with other people. If there was something here, for example, let's say everybody now became a little bit prosperous towards the end of Medina life. Of course, the Prophet became financially a bit more comfortable and relaxed compared with his previous life. Although his wives kept complaining that why we don't have as much as the others have. Less. Do you understand? Less. Why don't we benefit from the prosperity, from the wealth of the society as much as any other member of the community, family? Less. And they realize that, look, this man is not after money. When the war booties were distributed, what he did? He gave more. He gave more with the permission of the verse. There's a verse, Quran, Allah's God's permission to the rich and new ones, newly converted. And some people said, look, they are already rich. Why do you give more? We are suffering, we can get more than a bowl of soup, for example. Even sometimes we don't have anything to eat. Why don't they give us more? You know what happened? These rich people were arrogant because of their social position. When they are introduced to Islam, they were, somehow, okay, pro-Muslims, pro-Islam. They said that this man is somehow nice, but it caused them, this behavior caused in their heart the confidence that this guy is not after money, property. No, he is just claiming that we shouldn't worship false gods, and it was it. That was it. Not to establish his authority. That is the difference between human ambition and a prophetic tradition. So we have to, for example, if someone kills your brother, are you going to kill his brother or him?
Well, no.
But be careful. Why? You killed my brother, I will kill you. It is wrong. Even the very, very famous example. A person attacks the Muslim, physically Muslim community, army, all right? And there is a hot war. It's a very famous story, but since it is time to narrate it, a hot war. It means in the battlefield, more conditions are there. He is trying to kill me. I am trying to defend myself. In order to defend myself, if I don't kill him, he will kill me. There are very interesting details there. I should not let this man commit a crime. Look, I have no right to let this man to kill me, because if he kills me, he will be guilty of killing a believer. Do you recall from our previous discussions that a believer is the representative of the glorification made by all creatures? So if he kills a man, he kills the universe, doing the good. But because we have to understand this very fine point. Because the purpose of the existence of this universe, I didn't want it to have this class a little bit deep, but it is going deeper. because of the purpose of the existence of this universe is to exalt the Creator's qualities. It means the names of the Creator God. So we said the whole universe, the glorification made by whole universe is within the heart of the believer. So one believer is equal to the whole universe. So let's say, inshallah, that is correct. I am a good believer. And an enemy wants to kill me because he says, you are insulting my idol. Yeah, idol means a statue or anything wrong, baseless. And he tries to kill me. If I let him to kill me, you know the story? You know, somebody hits your cheek, turn the other cheek. Well, if I say, okay, if you want to kill me, please, okay, enjoy yourself. Okay, here is my neck. Then, if I let him kill me, be careful here, I would let him to commit a crime which will destroy his whole eternal life. I have no right for this man to be in a worse position. I kill him. Because otherwise he would kill me, but if the real battle conditions, not the man walking on the street who says I am a Christian or I am a Jew, or somebody may say, put a how do you say, signpost, I hate Muslims, walking in the street, I hate Muslims. He's not trying to kill you. So you say, okay, this person hates the Muslims, so let me kill him. But he's not attacking you and trying to kill you. He is supporting his idea, and go and speak to him nicely that, excuse me, sir, I am a Muslim. Why do you hate me? What did I do to you? Yeah, treat him nicely. He will be 1, 2, 3 occasions. He will say, what? They are nice people. Why do I hate them? He will learn. Look, the principles of them, fundamental principles we are talking. That's why you kill this man. Because if you doesn't kill him, he will be a worse man for his eternal life, not only for this 50, 60 years of age or life. Do you understand? Save him by killing him. Do you understand? This is very important. Otherwise, for example, the typical example I was going to talk about, Ali was fighting with somebody. It's a very typical, everybody heard it. I think, did you hear Ali, somebody spat on his face and stopped killing him? They're very famous, eh? Okay, it's all right. This one person has not heard it. So, they were fighting because this man was trying to kill a believer. Ali has to defend. a person, not necessarily Ali, but the Caliph Ali, but doesn't matter. A person, a believer, has to defend. While he was defending, now this man fell. Okay, because it is the tribal rule that if you want to kill your enemy, you have to, according to tribal war rule, you have to inflict on him the worst type of killing. So let him really suffer from it. It means halfway killing cannot live longer than 2, 3, 4 days a week and suffer for one week, and there is no way to kill. Yeah. So let them, yeah, revenge. And then the Muslims, of course, if you want to kill somebody, kill and finish with it. Yeah, don't let him suffer. Don't mutate. It is completely or definitely prohibited mutation. So this man spat at Ali's face because according to his tradition, his custom, he knew that he's going to be killed. Finished. He fell. Yeah? It's defenseless now. And he spat so that Ali would get expected, that Ali would get even angrier, more angry, and slam the sword so hard that he will be dead and he won't suffer. According to his custom. Do you understand the expectation? Ali, stop. Killing. He was like that. Fell. Defenseless. No sword, anything. We fell down and Ali got the sword. One waiting for Ali to kill him. He said, no. He said, okay. Why? Because I really got angry with you. I would kill you because you spat at me, not because you tried to kill a believer. From Ali's side. How dare you spat at me? Do you kill a man because he spat at you? Is it fair? You see the sensitivity? And the man said, what? He never heard. And I was going to kill you for the sake of Allah, God. But after you spat at me, I got furious, angry. And then I was going to kill you after that as a result of my anger to you, a personal anger. And my religion never allows to revenge because you are angry with somebody, because he spat at you. You cannot kill a man for this reason. Yes. And he explained this. Ali is a very wise man. Yeah. So the man said, which kind of understanding it is? And so said, I believe in your religion. Now what happened? Now, he was going to kill one unbeliever. Now, when the unbeliever, we have to understand this, when the unbeliever accepts the belief, it becomes really a believer. What happened? An unbeliever died. Physically, disappeared. There's no unbeliever anymore. Never number one. Number two, out of belief, out of belief, and a believer joined to the group of the believers. And the number of it's extra, yeah? That's extra. Do you understand that? So he got 2 men now. An unbeliever died and a believer was gained. Which one do you prefer? Killing one man? So any hatred, any negative feeling towards anybody with no confusion, if there is a confusion, just because of this negative feeling, hating Christians, hating atheists, hating somebody, and filling yourself, charging yourself with furious hatred. What you do? You know, if I have a negative feeling towards you, that what, huh? And he said, this guy came and sat next to me again, like that. No. So this negative feeling, don't you think that this man feels, yeah, my negative feeling, can I hide it? This man feels, negative feeling expands. And you cannot hide it. Feelings, any feelings actually, you cannot hide it. Even you say, like that, I know that's the hypocrisy. That's not sincere. That's not really genuine smile. This is incredible. So he feels that. So he cannot develop positive attitude towards me. Yeah. And then he says, oh, come on, God, this man again, you know, full of negativity. So he cannot have any sympathy towards me and my belief and my religion. That's why we will study more verses, inshallah, as much as, but what time is it?
5 minutes to 9.
Sorry?
5 minutes to 9. 8:55.
Wow, 5 minutes to 9. Oh God. So we can stop here actually, because there are other verses which again introduce universal rules, but this verse is the verse we studied today is the foundation of all types of behavior. If you follow this verse in your personal life, but if you are an administrator, in your social life, you will have no problem but invite people to the belief Islam without any word.
Yeah.
Your behavior will call them, come and follow my technique. You don't have to do anything.
And no stress.
Just follow these principles. Today we studied.
I'm saying you wouldn't have stress either.
Yeah. No
carrying over.
hatred. Those people who have family problem, or the problem with their children, follow this principle. Follow this principle. And there are others also we will study when they come to you with a positive offer, let's say, you have to offer them positive under any circumstances. With no restriction, we will study this. Inshallah, I'm excited about these verses, which seem to be, when you read the translation, or not the translation, even the original text, وَلَا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةٌ وِزْرَ أُخْرَى, you are a native Arabic speaker. Do you get these meanings at all? So, and no bearer of burdens will bear the burden of another. Another problem is this, and we will close the class today with this. Another problem is this. Most of the traditional commentators on the Quran, they love introducing extra information. Where did they get the extra information? From the conditions of occasions of revelation. So they relate this verse to a certain event took place during the life of Prophet, the Prophet ﷺ, right? And when you read the tafsir, what do you think? Oh, because this happened to the Prophet's time, and Prophet responded back in this way under the guidance of this verse. It was beautiful. And you never relate it to your life. You never expand the meaning. And these people, some of them, not all, these historians, especially these historians, try to explain the verses according to their historical context. They think that they are making commentary. It means explaining the meaning. They are not explaining the meaning. Be careful. They are narrowing down the meaning to a certain event and putting them there imprisoned. And you feel that's the meaning of the verse. I understood that happened to the prophet, and prophet responded like this. Allah told him behave in this way. He changed his behavior. It was good. And let me take a lesson. If someone behaves towards me in the same fashion, which is not the tribal fashion we are living here, we are living in the 21st century. That event will never take place. Somebody is not going to take the sword and come to you and try to kill you and spit it at your face. No, that what they do now, they sit in Washington or somewhere and press the button, and bomb is there on your head. They don't even see you who you are. You don't know whether they spit at my face or not. So it becomes irrelevant. This most of the time that when you read the commentator or any commentary on the Quran, if you are not careful, especially if you don't join this halakas, you will think that you are learning and expanding the meaning of the Quran. You are becoming knowledgeable. If you don't notice, you are becoming more ignorant under the influence of reductionist explanation of the verse, reducing it to a historical context. We always refer to this matter with a certain phrase. Historicizing the Quranic teaching is killing the message of the Quran. So be careful which commentary you read, let alone the translation. Translation helps you nothing, really. If you have to get the principles. If you don't learn the principles by reading the Quran's translation, you just think that I know what the Quran is talking about. And what you know has nothing to do with what the Quran is teaching. That is even worse ignorance. Why? Although you don't know, you think, I read the Quran. I hear from the college students a lot. Yeah, from time to time, I read the Quran. I said, have you ever studied the Quran? He says, without realizing. Yeah, I read the Quran from time. Oh, mashallah. For example, do you know Arabic? He said, no, I read from the translation. Oh, double mashallah. It means you are even double, triple ignorant. We have to watch out. What are we going to do? First, establish the principles and then try to dig under the verses of the Quran. That's what we are trying to train here. Inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ameen. Thank you for this